I was going to call this video something like, why it's called the present, or, something else, but I'm just going to call it people I respect. Um, and I'm not sure what exactly people are supposed to get from this. I don't script my videos. I've had people tell me that I should, but, I try to make things a little bit more personal, like I'm having a chat with people. So, the kind of people I respect are people that would be called bad, right? Like, um, let's see, Joel Olstein, right? That's first of all, he's scummy. So yeah, he's not acting any differently. He's not he's not acting like he's your friend. Sure, he talks like a salesman, but he knows that if he wasn't taking those people's money, someone else would, right? I respect people who don't go against their nature. What's another analogy? I don't expect a marshmallow to be a brick, right? Um, if you are a man that can't make muscle, um, aka you look like a woman, or you are a woman that's born who can make all the muscle in the world, and you follow where that leads you, then I have respect for you. You are going to live a longer and happier life, and I would rather be around you despite what your ideology may be, because you are not going to act any differently. I can understand you, and I can rely on you to be who you are and not be fake nice. Right? There's the kind of people that let's say I had an analogy in my head. I'd rather go I'd rather go to a Jewish bar with Hitler, um, or a Christian church with Pol Pot than someone who pretends to be my friend to get free food and drinks. Or someone who says they're going to pay and then it's like, well, you'll get my tab because I'm your friend. And that person only hangs out with you because you're paying for their meals or you help them out, and then when you need help, they're nowhere to be found. Um, I detest people like that. Um, unless that's who they are, right? If they're a detestable snake and they're just a grifter, but in that case, they would just say, "Well, I'm just going to, just going to have you pay for the drinks." I'm not talking about a person who's homeless or not well off. I'm talking about someone who has a job, right? Like, I would like, yeah, okay, you're an ass, but I respect it. You're man or woman enough to tell me that to my face, that you are being who you are. Same thing goes with nice people. There are people who just can't be a brick. You can hit them, you can smack them, but they will never be harder than a pillow full of feathers. And that's how it is, right? Those kind of people aren't the kind of people that I have to watch my back around. I've belonged to a family and a religion that tend to do that, that have the tendency to act nice to you when they want something, to get into your blind spot, and then I don't know if people would get this, is there's a guy that killed Julius Caesar. Brutus? Brutus me. Getting real close and just stab you in the side. I would say that those experiences are necessary in life because it sort of gives you eyes in the back of your head. Um, you know, it's sort of like a side tangent to all of this is like, people want to hate on Asian parents, right? Like, unless the the parents burning their kids' hands on the stove, or using them as material, if you're Asian, I'm sure you'll understand that saying. Um, you know, anything other than that, parents aren't supposed to be your friends, right? They are there to help you to some extent, but you are supposed to leave. If you have some sort of physical illness, even then, there are things you can do. You know, you should want to leave, right? You should want to leave and figure things out, right? And I would sit down. I would sit down and gladly have a conversation with those type of parents. And I would sit down in front of them, with them in front of their kids, and say, "Yeah, you did a good job. You did a fucking good job. Your kid's a doctor now, or good at math or any other high-paying job that's filled solely with Asians and stuff like that. And yeah, your kids thank you." And it's just stuff like that. It's like, it's where am I going with this? I think I can cut the video short. Actually, it's 6 minutes. So those are the people. Those are the people I respect. And I'm guessing the question, if I was streaming, I'm guessing the question would be, do you respect Jake Paul? Do you respect the Paul brothers? And I say yes. You can't tell me that those boys haven't tried to do something to better themselves, right? Like, they were all born as babies, just like every serial killer was. They all have parents, and they all grew up, right? Unless they were brutally tortured, extenuating circumstances aside, I can say honestly that they tried to change. And if you have someone who tries to change, and their default state is going back to scamming people, and it's just so easy for them, that's who they are. That's their nature. Right? It's not predestination. It's not anything like that. It's just, I'm not sure, genetics, maybe. But yeah. I would also say that if it wasn't for those people wouldn't learn anything. Right? People do not learn from history. So history has to keep on repeating itself over and over again. So, yeah, it's just to move on from that. What else might people ask? The kind of people I sit down with. Would I sit down with a serial killer? Why respect a serial killer? I think that falls more on the line of extenuating circumstances, right? There's a lot that goes on to make someone that way. I'm gonna try to end the video here, but I was watching some videos about hacking. I've fallen into the hacking rabbit hole, and then you can say they're just Reddit stories. Even if they are just Reddit stories, there are lines in the videos that ring true. It has an element of truth to them. Is that not all people who become hackers and turn into assholes and just make people's lives a living hell started out bad. Some of them wanted to help out, and because of their age or their race or whatever, they were excluded from helping out, and they said, well, fuck it, I'm going to do bad now. Because nobody wants me to help out. Why help out for free when I'm just going to be marginalized anyway, when I could just make money off of it? Right? It's sort of that thing, right? How long is the video? 10 minutes. Okay, I'm actually going to end it here. I would say that those are the people I respect. I'm also going to say that as people who live in America and Europe, we need to learn that the world is not America and Europe. That there are illnesses that doctors will not talk about, because if they did, people from America and Europe would flip out. Because when people think of our countries, they think of like a bright, shining star on a hill. And as part of that is everybody has decent drinking water. We don't have parasitic illnesses. So just remember that everybody was fortunate enough to be born here, right? So, and when I do talk to people, I am mostly talking to those audiences. So, yes. Thanks for watching, and if you got anything out of this video, then great. If not, then hope you have a good day.